Hey, what's going on? I see Bobby off into the side there. Didn't think I was going to make it today.
What's up, man? How's it going?
What's happening? How is it over there? No issues.
No, it was a little bit shaky yesterday. I was supposed to go home, but I couldn't drive because it was just too crazy.
Yeah.
But fortunately, not as bad. A little bit more inland got it worse than we did, but we did have power outages coming and going, and there was a lot of sporadic stuff going on. So,
I got something good for you today, David. David says he needs some winners. He just wants the winning lineup. I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to give it to him tonight. Don't worry.
Is it going to be a Met stack?
It is not going to be a Met stack.
Oh, I thought it was going to be the Met stack. Okay. Yeah, I only got it here. I just got back from the DMV. It's been a nightmare. I've literally been there for like 5 hours. So I'm trying to figure out, what I'm doing today. I'm not playing many lineups because I didn't have time to even get them in. But I do think there's a good slate because I think there's a lot of options for an 8-gamer. I really like the both sides of the Mets Atlanta game. And I think that Pittsburgh, St. Louis will be fairly popular. Otherwise, I would be onto that game. Are you showing not a ton of ownership for Atlanta? Because I can't believe that could be the case, but that's what it looks like.
Okay, so let me tell you what the context of the slate is. Okay, this is in my opinion. Okay, the context of the slate is what to do with Drew Rom and what to do with Paul Blackburn. Okay, because what's happening is that the Drew Rom Paul Blackburn combination is going to be just like super ridiculous chalk in the big buy-ins. I think, and everybody in there can play whoever they want as a result. Like I think in big buy-ins, I think that combination with Atlanta and pretty much everybody else is going to be played. I mean, this Rom at 4K is just like the leader of the free world as far as people's predictions today for some reason. I mean, because he's 4K, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Second thing is that Blackburn, because he's against KC, is picking up a great point per dollar play. So I think those two are going to be like the chalk du jour freaking value plays that people are going to probably play together and get to those big things. Now, if you didn't want to do that, then Luis Castillo seems to be like a colossal standout, like near the top, So you could, I think that the Atlanta ownership with Castillo is going to be low. Okay, like if you can make that work, unless you play Castillo with say Rom together. Mm-hmm. But the Atlanta ownership, I think, with the two cheapos with Rom and Blackburn are gonna take a decent amount of ownership. So that's my like overall slate view that maybe like goes at least a step to answering your initial question about Atlanta.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the projected ownership, and no one has Atlanta as nearly as high owned as I would have imagined, and I just was surprised by that.
Yeah. So here's the deal. So I'll just go over what I'm doing here. I did think about this, and I'm going to answer Scott's question as well. So these are kind of the pivot points here, right? So Seattle. One of the problems with the Seattle stack for openers is because I don't like them against. I never play them against righties anyway. But they do have Julio out, which is kind of annoying. Rodriguez, which decreased just the overall upside of this.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
So that is kind of a big deal. So I'll get to them in MLB just because, but in my big advice, that's not what I'm going to do. I see that you posted in there. I think that San Diego is kind of a cool play today. I know you just posted that in the chat, Bobby, as well. So
I did.
I thought you said who's the host then?
It's me, but I don't know who did that. I didn't write.
Said like SD. Oh, I thought you meant you like SD. Oh, okay.
No, I didn't write that.
Somebody wrote like SD.
Oh, I think that it was probably Rhodey on the Facebook. I'm sorry, on the YouTube page.
Oh, in any case,
yeah.
I don't mind San Diego, especially on FanDuel. So this is what I'm doing, right? With the Rom, is that his name? Rom, and with the Blackburn, I'm just gonna say in Ping Lori, this is what you want to know the answer. I'm just playing the opposite sides of both of those guys. I'm playing Pittsburgh, Kansas City as my for the shit play today. Those are going to be my teams in the big buy. All right. I'm just going to just leverage against those two value plays and just kind of roll with it.
Although Pittsburgh is showing up as the highest owned team that I see.
Well, I don't know, but because I don't know about that because I'm telling you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. St. Louis is actually never mind.
So I don't know about that, but I'm going to get some Pittsburgh and I'm going to pair them with Kansas City and I'm going to go after the Rom people and I'm going to go after the Blackburn people. I went away for a couple of days and I came back and Paul Blackburn's the chalkiest guy in the play. I just, you know what I mean? This is not my world. Okay. So I don't know if I can live with that. I just want to kind of play Castillo if you want to know the truth.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that and me being the glutton for punishment that I am, I will back up my statement about Seattle by I'll just play Tucson and just lose. That's Seattle just basically just destroys everybody they play, lefty and righty nowadays. But I don't care. I'm just going to try Tucson. He's got like a legitimate, like at least moderate strikeout upside projection, and there's no Julio. You know what I mean? So that's probably what I'm going to do. Now, the interesting thing about it is I was able to come up with all this like pretty easily, right? So I naturally step back and think, okay, so which teams and players and all that is going to go kind of fall through all that. So I guess I will ask you about the following teams. Like as far as hitting goes, Texas, number one, because I'm not getting them at all, and because of that, I wonder why not. I'm not wonder why not. I know why not because of the analysis I just gave, and the other one is this Houston game in general, like to play Javier or to play Boston or to play Paxton or to play Houston. I think that game is going to be a little bit relatively. It's not going to be ignored. It's a small slate, but it's going to be relatively ignored. So that's what I'm worried about being too under on all four prongs of that game. And that's pretty much what I got on the slate. If you want to know the truth.
Yeah, I get it. So for me, I have my stacks ranked Atlanta 1. I don't want to play St. Louis at their ownership. And I don't want to play Seattle at their ownership, especially without Julio Rodriguez. Yeah. So I would have, but those were my 2 and 3. So I actually have sort of switched it up a little bit. And now I like Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and the Mets, and then San Diego as my 4 favorites.
And you're getting to Atlanta without playing Rom?
Yeah, it's really easy. I mean, they've got Kevin Pillar playing; he's 2,400. They've got Bobby Grissom at 3,400. It's a very easy Atlanta stack today.
Okay.
If you don't play, Olive, Riley, Olsen, and Acuna, you probably have to play 2 of them. For what it's worth, I like Riley better, but I happen to like first base tonight stronger than third base, so I have more. I would be more on. I'm sorry, I like Olsen better, but I would have more Riley because of that. And for you BVP lovers, 3 home runs and 11 at bats for Olsen off of Peterson.
Hey, you know what? Let's talk about this Winans thing for a second. So Winans, he's getting called up for a spot start, and coincidence or not, last time he came up for the spot start, he just mowed the Mets right into submission. Okay, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, 434 fantasy points. I couldn't quite figure out exactly what it was, but just killed him. Was kind of hoping that he'd be like really chalky as a result of all that. Doesn't seem like anybody's doing this for some reason. And I almost feel like kind of a chump here. Like if he comes out and like mows him down again, are we going to just feel like idiots for just not playing him? I mean, I remember the Mets.
No,
okay.
I won't.
Okay.
Right. Look, they were up by 10 runs in that game before he even like got on the mound, basically. So it makes it a lot easier to have a strong outing when you're up 18 runs, a good portion of the game.
The other thing I would say is someone else from another show made a pretty good point about that. I don't know what the lineup was for that game. I'm sure the Mets were not prepared to like deal with like some Alan Winans character in that game, or whoever that was. But in this lineup, they gave him Alonso and 100 lefties. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to be so easy to this time.
It's also 90 degrees in Atlanta.
Yeah. Okay.
And winds with slight wind blowing out to center. Like it's just everything about it just feels like no. And the weird part is that Vegas is actually giving the respect to them. Like, I mean, you only have a 4.1 run total for New York in 90-degree weather. That means like basically in normal conditions at another park, they would probably have like a 3.5 run total or 3.7 or something low. Yeah.
Perfect comment as expected by Leon here. I mean, he basically said what I said, but just in the correct way, actually. Like,
yeah, it was the JV team, and it was
Yeah.
the JV team in every way. Yeah, absolutely.
as opposed to your normal team, which is also a JV team. But
And
anyway,
I actually do think he's going to have some ownership. I don't think he's not going to be like owned at all. I think he'll have like maybe 15% or something.
yeah.
But I personally, I have a little different take than you. I've been waiting for. I've actually been on the same side that Goldie was. I think it was Goldie was making the case early in the year that Paul Blackburn is a better pitcher than people realize.
God damn it.
And just my take is that all that's happening is it's coming to fruition. Like he's finally hitting his stride. You look at it, he's been over 23 out of the last 4. He put up 31 in the last game out. It's KC. They're in Oakland. Everything lends me to want to play Blackburn and Javier combinations. Those are my 2 favorite pitchers. I have zero. Everybody keeps talking about this Boston stack. I have zero interest in a Boston stack. They would probably be at the bottom for me today. Could it happen? Sure. Do I have any real reason to like think it will in Houston? No. Javier's a good pitcher. Houston has a good bullpen. I don't really understand any love for Boston personally, but if it happens, I mean, look, it's baseball. It could happen. I think that Houston I would prefer over Boston, but I don't think anyone's playing them either. So I think that the Astros side would be more where I was out of that game, just to go back to that other question. And like you said in chat earlier, you sort of got me into the idea of this Mets thing, and I think it's a pretty good idea. So
no, I'm doing that in MME. I have like not my big buy because you mentioned the big buy. Just to give you my exposure, you brought up in the big buy-ins, I do have 25% Mets stacks.
I love that. Yeah,
yeah, and I am actually playing, Blackburn and Rom in MME. Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. But yeah, I kind of I like the Mets. I like the Mets as well. I just didn't put that big buy.
Yeah, no, I got you. What is up with some of these? We lost that other game. I'm just trying to figure out why some of my ownership stuff hasn't updated in the right way, and it's got some funny guys being projected. So maybe when Goldie does his update, it'll be a little better because I was using.
I'll go over my FanDuel if you want. So
yeah, please talk about it. Yeah, because I didn't.
FanDuel, Atlanta's my highest owned over there, followed by St. Louis, San Diego, and Houston. Those are my top ones over there. And as far as the pitching goes, not a lot of difference. Castillo's top over there, and then I am paying down a little bit. I'm getting some Toussaint's, getting some Blackburn over there as well. Mm-hmm. I have a lineup or 2. I have a couple with the Rom, only because at 5,500 over there, you could play like basically, Babe Ruth and Gary, and Barry Bonds, you know what I mean? Like everybody everybody you want, So I do have some over there. I'll take I won't get my Q quality start, but I'll get my quality home runs. You know what I mean? So we'll just see how that goes.
Right. Yeah. No. Absolutely. I understand it. Who the funniest pitcher who I kept getting to in my brain, but I couldn't actually pull the trigger if I wasn't going to play. This is if you're not any non-Atlanta lineups.
Peterson.
I actually think that like if there's one thing Atlanta can sometimes chase a little bit early. This is not Atlanta's best lineup out there.
Okay.
Peterson against the projected lineup today that they have is a 37% strikeout rate. His numbers always look okay, but then you watch him pitch, and every count is 3-0. Every count starts off 3-0. Okay?
But if it isn't, maybe he's going
to. Yeah, right. If it isn't, it's 2-1. I'm just kidding.
Right.
But it's bad. By the way, I booked my Vegas stuff, so we're all set there.
Yeah, I'm not going to be that much fun. I'm going to be there for like 24 hours.
I know.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have dinner. That's for sure.
Yeah,
as long as I can stay up after dinner on the time change, I will stay up with you.
Oh, we'll see, man. I don't know. That's going to be a rough one.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Play it by ear. That's right. But yeah. So TJ's asking us if we think the Braves pitcher gets lit up tonight, and I'm sort of alluding to that. I do think that the Mets can get to him, and I do like the Mets as a stack.
Yeah.
And I think that we covered. You got 25% in MME,
yeah.
So we're on board there. The tough thing about the Mets stack, even when you play it on DraftKings, is like partly I want to play the cheap Vogelbach and I want to play Alonso, and it always makes it a little bit annoying, But yeah, I can get behind that. I really like. I ended up with the Braves and Mets as my stacks, but I really think that you could make a pretty good case for a lot of different stacks today. I mean, I really think each game has one or two like legitimately good stacks. And if I was going to be really getting different, so I mentioned the very weird play of Peterson, but the other thing that I thought was like the get weird kind of idea that might work out would be some sort of combination of Oakland and Kansas City. It's a nice hitting for Oakland. It's one of the better hitting weather games we've had at night. 71 degrees with wind blowing out, which for Oakland is pretty good. And you have really, outside of like I said, I think Blackburn's pretty good, but you have a lousy pitching for Kansas City and some cheap bats for Oakland if you wanted to go that route. But that was my other weird idea that I didn't end up going with because I didn't get to enough lineups.
Yep. Any lineup change? Oh yeah. So wait a minute. I gotta fix it. There's a couple of Kansas. I have a Blanco lineup I have to get rid of. Okay, that's about it though. Okay.
Yeah, and then we had the Angels game originally listed on the slate, and then it wasn't, or at least I did, and then I was just a little confused by that.
Beatty is out. I didn't see that either. Okay.
I don't even know who Beatty plays for right now. Who does he play for?
Kansas City.
Oh, he does. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot it. It is weird that he's against Blackburn. That's kind of weird that he's not in the lineup. Anyway. So yeah, and TJ's asking more questions. Any Pirates? TJ, we covered all this stuff. I'm happy to go over it again, but I think we both like the Pirates, right?
Yep.
All right. Anything else to cover before we eventually move on to whatever else? I don't know if I have anything else that I want to talk about.
I'm good. Whatever.
Guys, fire on any questions or thoughts because I don't think there's a lot more I can talk about on this slate. It's the 8 gamers are just not, it's pretty easy in baseball to get through them quickly. And in basketball, we're scrambling every 5 minutes because the new guy's not starting, and that means everything changes. But really nothing else to talk about really with this one.
Nope.
All right. All right, Cheats, should we get out of here?
Yeah, I am. I was not going to be around tomorrow, but I will. So I will see you then.
Cool. Sounds good, man. Have a good night. Good luck, everybody, and we'll see you guys later on. I'll be in